Hey, Gene Galin here with the Chatham Journal, Chatham Chatlist, and I'm here with Mike Pipkin, and we're standing in front of Justice Motor, and it's not going to be Justice. It hasn't been Justice Motors for a long time, but it's going to be. What is it going to be, Michael?
Havoc Brewing Company.
Havoc Brewing. Let's go in. We're going to do a quick tour of you.
Come on in.
Let folks know what's going on here. We're going on in, and wow, you've got this all stripped down.
We do. We were really glad to be able to work with Greg Stafford to get both sides of this property and knock down the wall between them so we could open up the space and have plenty of room for people to come in and enjoy beer.
Okay, now with all this open space, is this like a dance area? What are you going to use this open space for?
So we have a short side and a long side. So we're going for two different feels. This is going to be more of the comfortable side. So we're going to have couches and kind of comfortable seating in the corners, and then little tables throughout. So you'll be able to come in any time of day that we're open. You can come in, you can work, you can enjoy a pint, you can hang out and talk to your friends. This is a nice quiet side. So we've got just a couple of TVs on this side, but really the focus is getting up there and having a drink and bringing it back and having a comfortable place to sit over here.
So you said you're going to have, is it couches and chairs?
Yep. So we've got two lounge areas in sort of the rounded corners here of this great, what used to be the showroom for the Mercury dealership here.
Right.
Yep.
And I see you're doing some construction. Is this going to be the bar area?
This is the bar area. We arranged it specifically. One of my biggest pet peeves about going to tap rooms anywhere is that I have to fight to get over people to order my beer. But we created on both sides of our bar a nice low area. Nobody's going to sit there. You'll be able to walk right up, or if you're in a wheelchair, wheel right up. Order your beer and find a place to be.
This low area here is what you mentioned.
This low area here. So folks will be able to walk up to this. Nobody will be crowding you out. It's a nice place to come up and order your favorite beer.
Okay, so this portion here is the order section.
That's right.
But the higher area is going to be your bar area?
All the high section. So it starts, you got several seats this way, and then it curves around and keeps going. We have I think we have about 70 seats at our bar total, so lots of space for people to come in and enjoy.
I was one of the next questions I was going to ask. How many people could you sit there?
At the bar, we have about 70 seats at the bar. The whole tap room, we have seats for about 220 people.
So it sounds like you're going to be able to do more than just people coming in for public events. More of what if I want to have a party or a private event? What do I do then?
So the great thing about the design that we've come up with here is with this narrow place, we can actually divide the space. So if somebody wants to rent out the long side for a big party or the short side for a party, we can do either of those things. But when I show you the brewery space back there, we've actually created a beautiful brew space that people can rent and have private functions back where we produce our beer. On top of that, we have a huge patio out front with probably enough room for another 200 people out there. So whatever size party you want to have, we're ready to go.
Yeah, we'll take a look at the patio because that's something people can always see when they're driving around the traffic circle here around the courthouse. All right, so you got all this. You got 70 chairs. You've got a low bar area to serve up beer. But the question is, how many taps are you going to have?
Yep, we're going to have 36 taps. So our initial rollout, we're doing 9 beers. Okay. We'll serve also a seltzer, hopefully a local mead and a cider. So we support some of the local businesses out of the beverage district, and hopefully we're also looking, by the way, to collaborate with BMC and with Red Moose and with other local brewers around here. So really, it's not so much about competing with local brewers or local restaurants, but really finding a way to collaborate with them. And the high tide raises all boats idea. Really make a Beer City, USA out of Pittsboro.
Beer City. Instead of Circle City, we can mean now Beer City.
I like Pittsboro.
Pittsboro. You know what? You can have a Pittsboro festival.
We're aiming for that for sure.
There you go. Instead of a pub crawl, you can have a Pittsboro. Hero. I'll have to get it. I'll have to let that roll off my tongue. All right. So you've got 36 taps. You said you're going to have 9 different offerings.
9 different beers, but we did 36 partly because of that pet peeve. I don't want to wait to get a beer. Right. So we're going to have on really busy nights 3 stations where you can walk up and order a beer. You never should have to wait in line for very long. You should always be able to access somebody who you can tell. We'll also have folks walking around. So if you're sitting at your table, your beer gets low, and maybe it's time for another one, we say, hey, would you like to try one of our Pilsners? You want to try a nice IPA? And we can bring it right to your table.
What's the proper way to pour a beer?
Well, so it depends on which kind of beer. But ideally, you're going to So assuming the tap system's right, you're going to put the beer in 45-degree angle and let it slide down the edge of the glass. However, if you're pouring a nice Guinness or some kind of stout, you really want to pour that and let it hit the bottom and foam up a little bit.
See, when you get everything set up, we're going to have to come back and you're going to have to give us a demo.
I'd love to show you. Yep.
All right, so you also have a low area down here, so it's not just one area that you have.
Not just one area. We wanted folks who are sitting on our patio out here to be able to walk straight in without having to go all the way around to the short side. Be able to walk straight in and order a beer right off this side too. So the idea is multiple touch points, being able to serve our customers wherever they are and however they want to come to us.
All right, I noticed the SO sign on the brick and the N64 sign up on the brick. Is that staying up there?
We're going to stay. We're going to keep those. We really wanted to keep all of the historic touches that we could. I know some folks are going to be disappointed. Unfortunately, the mural got covered over as part of our construction process for sanitary reasons. We needed to be able to cover over that wall to clean it over. So that's gone. But over here, we've got some of the great historic stuff, and I can't wait to open up all these doors to show everybody what we're doing in here.
Yeah, when we talked to Greg Stafford last year, he had mentioned that these used to be windows, but now you've got these doors, and they slide all the way.
They go all the way up, and this large door also opens all the way up. Let the
oh, there's the sounds of the big city.
Sounds of the city going by. In front of all of these roll-up doors that we have here, we're actually going to have really long tables. So it's going to be more of a beer hall style over here. We'll have nice long tables, community seating. Folks can sit. You can talk about all the things you want to talk about. You know, in the tradition of a great beer hall, you can come in and debate all the things you want to debate right here. But we're also going to have some large TVs up on the wall. You can come and catch your favorite game. We have a number of partners in the business who are UNC fans, but we've also got folks who are state fans. So great rivalries, along with, as folks know if you're following our Facebook page, I am a Navy veteran, and my other business partners are an Army veteran. So Army-Navy games, and some great rivalries.
This place packed,
yeah,
aren't you?
I can't wait.
Can't wait.
Yeah. And so this is the side that's going to be hopefully a little more raucous. You get nice long tables over here, plenty of places to stand or to sit, and really great shows to watch.
You realize you can't get too raucous because the police chief might not appreciate that.
Well, raucous in a respectful kind of way.
Because you Army and Navy guys will take care of that if someone gets out of hand.
That's right. That's right. Well, and honestly, there's enough of that out in the world anyway. That's where Havoc came from. I don't know if you know, but Havoc for us isn't really so much about the beer. It's about the world around us. So one of the reasons we wanted to be in Pittsboro was because of all of the growth that's here and all of the change that's happening. It's Havoc outside of these walls. All the stuff that's happening in this world is absolutely insane. The idea is that you bring that Havoc here, and we're going to transform that into a great experience. So beer's going to be delicious. The community's going to be amazing. You're going to be able to meet your friends and meet new friends while you're enjoying a great beer. You leave the Havoc outside and come on in.
Well, speaking of Havoc, when I talked with Greg last year, back in February of last year, he mentioned that I think the initial schedule was supposed to be that you would be opening up by the beginning of 2022. Yep. However, Havoc set in, and you had all sorts of issues, including, I think, what we're looking at right here, getting your equipment in.
Yeah, the best part about starting a new business is figuring out all the supply chains and getting access and construction and small business loans and all that. So what actually took the longest amount of time was just walking through all the bank stuff we had to do. We secured all of this equipment a year ago, and it sat in a warehouse actually here in Raleigh. So we're working with Atlantic Brew Supply, which is a Raleigh-based company, doing our best to keep everything as local as we can. So all of this equipment is sold right here in the Triangle area. We were able to secure it a year ago and get it here from wherever it came from in the world. We were able to get it here, secure it, lock it down in a warehouse. But getting it delivered, getting it installed, getting all the pieces and parts connected, we're still waiting on all of those things. So some supply chains are working really well, some supply chains aren't working really well. So the idea here, we're operating a 15-barrel brew house. So each one of these tanks, the small ones.
So wait a minute, when you say 15 barrels, is that a barrel?
No. This is 15 barrels of beer, so it's roughly 475 gallons. in this one. And this is a 30 barrel fermenter, so double that. So we're looking at about 900 gallons going in this guy. So each brew cycle we go through, we're brewing 15 barrels of beer at a time.
What's your definition of brew cycle?
So each batch of beer we make. So when we make one of our flagship beers, we call it Havoc Actual. It's a Mexican lager, similar to what you might find like a Corona or something, but a little tastier. It's going to be a large beer brewed in these 15 barrel fermenters here. So that's each time we brew that, we're brewing about 475 gallons.
Okay, let me ask you a question. You just referred to that as a fermenter, but you also referred to this as a fermenter.
Yep, it's the same exact thing, just a different size.
All right, what exactly is a fermenter?
Well, kind of the joke in the brewing community is that brewers make sugar and yeast make beer. So I actually, the equipment over there, you can see we've got some vessels on that side of the house. This is where we take the raw grain that comes to us from various places across the U.S. Also here in North Carolina, we have a maltery that we use. We're going to convert that grain into liquid sugar. So convert it to liquid sugar over there, move it over to the fermenters. We add the yeast in the fermenter, and the yeast make the beer over here.
All right, so let's okay, so that's where you're making the beer.
That's where the beer gets made.
Okay, and here we're taking the
grains. We use malted barley, sometimes malted wheat, sometimes rye. We use various hops and other things to add flavor. We do all that here. And it comes out and moves into a fermenter. And once it moves out of, so we call this the hot side, and this is the cold side. So everything on the hot side is about making sugar. Everything on the cold side is about feeding the yeast. So everything we're trying to do is to get good, healthy yeast who are going to make the beer. Most of the flavor you taste in beer comes from yeast.
All right, the process. Let's say you start here, and then you get to here, and then you pour it out there.
Yeah.
How long does that process take?
On an ale, it takes about 2 weeks from the moment the grain goes in to the moment it hits your glass. It's about a 2-week process. For a lager, it could be 4 weeks or 6 weeks or several months, depending on the type of lager we make. So we're going to start with ales because we want to get some product out as quick as we can. So we'll have a number of ales to start with. And then really myself and my other brewer, one of our big passion is German lagers. We love to drink a delicious, clean German lager. So that's on the list to be able to brew for you.
All right.
Yeah.
How did you get involved with this? Is this something you started doing at home, and then your wife said, "Look, you gotta get this out of the house"?
Funny enough, it started. So a Navy buddy of mine, who is actually our other brewer, our head brewer, Andrew Smith. He and I decided to do this together because 15 years ago in his backyard, he taught me how to brew beer. And it was a surprise to me that you could take something and that you can buy at the store and convert it into this delicious drink. I had no idea you could do that.
You guys have like too much free time on your hands in the backyard. Come on.
Yeah, it was a little bit too much time, but also everybody needs a great hobby, so we fell in love with it. It just it kept snowballing over the years to the point where I now have a 1-barrel brew, so a 30-gallon brew house in my garage. And that's when everybody said...
Is that legal?
It's legal.
Okay.
It's 100% legal.
Checking.
Yeah, home brewing's come a long way, but that's absolutely legal. So, and that's the best part. There are people who, when they talk about craft beer, roll their eyes, and it's just, all the IPAs and all that kind of stuff. IPAs are delicious.
Right.
But what I'll tell you is all craft beer has its roots in home brewing. So there are a lot of guys like me who started in their backyards, moved to their kitchens, moved to their garage. It just kept growing, and the dream got bigger and bigger in their head. And it was actually during COVID, one of my neighbors said to me, you really ought to take this and make it into a thing. And here we are.
So you just mentioned the magic word, the dream. So this is your dream here.
It's my dream.
All right.
It's my dream.
You mentioned you brewed all this stuff, started at the backyard.
Mm-hmm.
How are you going to decide? You mentioned some of the things like the Mexican lager.
Mexican lagers, yeah.
How do you decide which beers you're going to have, and are those going to get rotated? Because you may want to do a Chatham Journal beer sometime or something.
I'm all over it. So how you decide what to brew is a little bit of both things. There's some creative license. You get to brew the things you like to brew. You want to brew the things that people enjoy drinking, because that's the point of it. But one of my favorite things to do is to play off of my head brewer, Andy. He and I, he is, I would say, the traditionalist, and I want to mess things up as much as I can. So he's going to push sort of traditional beers, and I'm going to find out ways to make them weird and interesting.
So if he's asleep, you're going to sneak something in there?
Never. No. We have a plan way in advance. So really, as we plan our brew cycles, we're planning 6 months in advance. Part of that's also about being seasonal. Like with great restaurants, sometimes you find ingredients that are seasonal. Especially during the summertime, you want to bring some flavors to the table that are, more citrusy, more bright. And then during the winter, things get a little heavier. So we're going to have seasonal rotations of stuff. I hope that we can have a couple of great flagship beers that you can come to expect every time you're here. But at the end of the day, we'll be brewing different beers all the time. Folks have asked me, what kind of beer do you brew? And the answer is all of them. There's, every single beer, every style we can get our hands on, everything from, easy lagers, like the Mexican lager I was talking about, to complicated sours. Even at some point, as soon as we can, start doing some barrel aging.
Now, you mentioned Andy was your head brewer. So the
Yep.
next question is,
Yep.
how many brewers do you have?
Yep, there are 2 of us. So I'm the owner of the company, and I'm sort of overseeing all of the things, but I specifically want to keep my hands in the brewing stuff. So I want to keep brewing. That's really where my passion is, and we have other folks on our team who are going to help run the tap room and help with marketing and do some operations management and things like that.
So you're going to be the guy that when people look through the window, you'll be in there messing around.
That's exactly right. Me and my dog.
You and your dog. Well, you should have a beer named after your dog.
Yeah. Well, Lilu she's a force to be reckoned with. So it's gonna have to be a strong beer.
Lilu beer, and that may be coming up next.
That's right.
So this area back here, have you got all your fermenters and your tanks all set up? Do you need to add more stuff back in here?
Yep. We've got a bit more to do back here. On the hot side, we still have to run all of our steam piping. On our cold side, we're running all of the glycol stuff next week to keep things nice and chilled down. But we're getting really close. I hope that by a month from now, we're looking to kick off our first production run.
All right. If you're going to kick off your first production run in a month from now, when are you going to have a cold open event? And when's that kind of? I know I'm not going to try to pin you down a specific date, but how about a month?
So if left to me, we're going to be serving by St. Patrick's Day.
Okay, of course.
If left to me.
Okay.
But so we still have to go through state ABC permits, and we need to get our certificate of occupancy here and all that. So as soon as we have those permits from the state ABC, we're going to open our doors and start selling beers. If that's St. Patrick's Day, that's awesome. If it pushes to April 1st, that's okay too. Or if it's earlier and we have beer to sell, we're going to open as soon as we can.
All right, so we're setting a goal of St. Patrick's Day, if possible.
That's the goal.
If you don't run into any more havoc.
If we don't run, so ideally, I would love for folks to be able to come and watch the Final Four here.
Okay, there you go. That's not bad. Now I know you've got glass in here, so I guess people will be able to watch you brewing.
People can watch if they want to attach love notes to the window. That's probably just fine too, or make requests.
What's your definition of a love note?
Well, I've been told I have a face for radio, so I don't know.
Oh my gosh, you're going to hold that against me. I just said that Michael and I both have a face for radio. But,
that's right.
Well, see, when people look at me, they definitely agree with that. All right, so we're coming out of the, is that, what would you call that, the brew room?
This is the brewery. Yeah, we call that the brewery, and this is our tap room.
All right, so this is your tap room. Now, you mentioned splitting up the area if somebody wanted to do a private event.
Yep.
So how would that work out?
Well, so in my mind, we've got 3 or 4 options for private events. One is the really private event. We want to make sure that our brewery stays clean and accessible. We can bring in tables, we can have it catered, we can do chef's table kind of experiences, so we can do really high-end stuff in there. It's going to be really wonderful to do. If you want to do something a little less private, we can divide our tap room in half. We have this nice narrow space right here where it's really easy to put a sign that says, this area closed for a private event. And on either side of this, you could have quite a bit of space for your private stuff to happen. Of course, we also have the patio, which is way less private, but we can certainly find ways to share that space with, as we do with our neighbors here in SoCo. But if you want to have something private under there, under our awning or out on there, we've got a stage for sound. You can have all kinds of entertainment and lots of
we head out that way. Now, on the brewery side, if you had a special event in there, what's the situation with food?
Yeah. We are partnering with local restaurants. To bring in food. We're actually meeting later today with folks who are going in a couple of doors down next to the mod, looking to have them deliver directly into the tap room. So it's really an extension of their restaurant. So when you come in, my dream is you come in, you order your pint, you sit down, and you'll be able to either use a QR code or order right off your phone and have your food delivered right here. So you don't need to go anywhere else. You can be here, you can enjoy a beer, and you can get food from some of the really great restaurants we have here in Pittsboro.
So are you planning to have your own app and kind of have that off of it, or you haven't gotten that to that point?
It's probably not going to be our own app, but we're going to use some of the great technology out there. So it's not like DoorDash, but it's going to be a lot like that, where you can reach out to some of the restaurants and get either a limited menu or a full menu of the stuff they want to deliver over here.
All right, we're going to step out a little bit into the sun here, just to give people a view of what that area looks like.
So
and
we have all this
patio area. What's your plan for this patio area?
Lots of tables, lots of ability for folks to be out here, but we're going to make full use of the outdoor stage that we have, as well as some space inside for entertainment. So we'd love to have bands. If you've got favorite bands, I'd love to know who they are, people you'd like to see out here. I'd love to see comedians. We're definitely going to do pub trivia nights, one of my favorite things ever. So finding ways for folks to be here and just enjoy themselves is really kind of the name of the game. In addition, always there's going to be pub games. So we're going to have cornhole. We're going to have all kinds of, we're going to have shuffleboard and other things for people to do so that they can stay engaged. Of course, we've got this amazing fire pit. So in the chillier months,
that is working. Because we're out here during the winter time, standing around that.
Yeah, it'll singe your eyebrows off. So it puts out quite a bit of heat. We're gonna have chairs all around this, so people will be able to sit right around this and enjoy themselves. One of the best things about this patio is it's drivable, and our plan is to have food trucks be able to pull right up onto the patio. So when other restaurants may not be an option, we'll have plenty of food trucks so people can sample various kinds of things. My favorite part about that is we're connecting them to our electricity, so you don't have to come out here and listen to the generator go all the time. They'll plug right in. It'll be nice and quiet, and none of that extra noise like you hear right now.
Except for the trucks.
Except for the trucks.
Yeah, I was out here with Eric Andrews doing an interview, and people got, it was a great interview, great conversation, but the trucks, you could hear that noise.
Yep, for sure.
Going back to, Pittsboro is growing, that's, you said, one of the reasons.
Yeah.
But why this specific location? Why SoCo, and why not somewhere down the road from downtown Pittsboro?
Sure. This is the center of everything, isn't it? For Circle City, this space right here is not just iconic, but it's the center of gravity for Pittsboro and for Chatham County. So being able to be right here on this corner in this beautiful historic building makes perfect sense for us and for what we're trying to do for the community and for our neighbors here.
So this setup's all, again, as we're going over things, you mentioned the plan is to be opened up by St. Patty's Day if possible, have Final Four going on over here.
That's right.
Is there anything else that we need to let people know about?
Actually, I want to introduce you to Holly.
Okay. Well,
everybody needs to meet Holly.
Holly is who?
Holly is our marketing director.
Okay.
And a great friend. She's got lots to share as well.
Yes.
All right. Tell us a little bit, Holly.
All right.
No pressure.
Like Michael said, my name's Holly. I'm the marketing director here at Havoc, also an investor, so definitely believe in the mission here. Some things you should know about Havoc are events, like Michael said. We're definitely going to be available for private events and parties, and you can do catering, have entertainment, all of that. We are pet friendly and little people friendly. So kids, families, dogs, if your dog is well behaved and on a leash, they are welcome here, and we'll have some dog treats and things like that for them. Probably, yeah. I think we'll have some treats available for kids.
If you knew my kid, they would probably try to go after some of the dog treats.
Well, yeah. Michael's daughter actually makes homemade dog treats out of sweet potatoes,
okay.
So they're actually edible for people, but I'm not sure I would recommend it. And then what else? Let's see. Havoc is, like I said, for everybody. We wanted this to be a great community space. We want people to come here and settle in, have a good time. You can hang out, watch sports. You can order from food trucks or local restaurants and have a meal, hang out with friends, have a party, whatever you want to do. I think we'll be available for that.
All right, you're the PR person, but you also mentioned that you're an investor. So the question is, why?
Why an investor?
Why an investor? What sold you? Come on, it wasn't Michael's good looks. Yeah, I'm going to get you back.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
So my husband and I are investors in the brewery. We've been right there from the beginning, encouraging Michael, thinking that this was a great idea. We can personally attest to the deliciousness of his beer and feel like everyone should get to experience that.
What's your favorite?
No.
Yeah.
So I am kind of one of those pumpkin spice people. I know I'm gonna get
Pumpkin spice.
Yeah.
Somehow I got the feeling that Havoc pumpkin spice season is going to like run from late summer.
Yeah,
all the way
right.
to early
It
spring.
should. It totally
That's
should.
right. I think that's right.
Yeah, I would be all for that. I love a fall seasonal beer. I'm not a huge IPA person, but I love either end of the spectrum. I love a light wheat beer, and I love stouts. Those are my favorites. So we'll have plenty of that, plenty of something for everybody.
Anything else we need to know about the Havoc?
Just keep an eye out. We're coming.
Actually, website. You have
Website. We are in the process of working on it, so we are doing a little bit of a brand refresh. I know you've all, or hopefully have been to our Facebook page and seen our logo. We are doing a little update to that, so
And on your Facebook page, what name are you under?
Havoc Brewing Company.
Havoc
You can
Brewing
find us under
Company.
Havoc Brewing Company on Facebook, and we are getting ready to launch our Instagram page, which will be tied into that, and our website is coming, and we will have all kinds of new stuff with our new logo, signage, merch, all of that. So you'll be able to get it here.
So what it sounds like is the best place for people to go to get information about what you got for planned for the whole Havoc operation is to go to their Facebook page.
Yes, check us out on Facebook, and from there you'll be able to find when our website launches. It'll be all over Facebook, and we'll be able to push you from there.
All right, folks, you now have, Michael has talked about, Holly's talked about what's going on here at Havoc in the middle of downtown Pittsboro, actually Soco area, which is south of the circle. And stay tuned, watch them on Facebook, and we'll get more information. We will come back, and Michael will show us the proper way to pour beer once they're operational.
Come on out.
Folks, thank you very much.
Thank
you.
you.